shortly. The Rebbe in the SICHAH uses two words to describe the status of Bnei Levi's obligation towards the Mishkan. One is chiyuvi, the other is shlili. Chiyuvi I will translate as direct. In other words, the obligation is directly connected to the Mishkan, whereas shlili also involves the Mishkan, but it is indirect. It relates to matters or responsibilities not directly connected to the Mishkan. Of the three categories for which Bnei Levi are responsible, two are chiyuvi. They relate directly to the Mishkan. One, the piruk masa and hakama of the Mishkan, and also the shir, in that it accompanies the avodah. On the other hand, the shmirah is an activity that requires the Bnei Levi to keep out the zar from the Mishkan, and therefore, while the focus of the two chiyuvi activities is the Mishkan, the focus of the third, the shlili, is the Bnei Yisrael, and also, in certain instances, other Leviim. This shlili activity, although mentioned as a responsibility to the Bnei Levi, is ultimately the responsibility of the Kohen. The Levi's involvement is to assist the Kohen in fulfilling his responsibility of Shmirah. The textual basis for this position comes to us from the incident of Korach. Levi ben Yaakov had three sons, Gershon, Kahat, and Merari. Kahat in turn had four sons, Amram, Yitzhar, Chevron, and Uziel, and each in turn had three sons. Initially, all of the 9 grandchildren of Kahat, along with the grandchildren of Kahat's 2 brothers, were part of the Bnei Levi. This included Korach and Aharon. At some point in time, Moshe appointed Aharon to a subgroup within Shevet Levi, the Kahuna. Korach challenged this decision of Moshe and fermented the beginnings of a civil war. God intervenes, and Korach and his followers were swallowed into the ground. Coincidentally, or by design, a swarm of snakes entered the camp, causing death and destruction, referred to in the Chumash as a plague. People in desperation turn to Moshe and ask him to intervene. God instructs Moshe to fashion a copper snake, place it upon the pole, and have Aharon walk amongst the people who were dying from this plague and miraculously heal anyone who had been bitten. The upshot of the entire Korach incident was the immediacy of God's response to the actions of the people. And therefore, once things have settled, representatives of the nation come to Moshe and they express the fear that Hein gavanu avadanu, kulanu avadanu. We perish, we are lost, all of us are lost. Because Kol HaKarev El Mishkan Hashem, anybody who approaches the Mishkan Hashem, Yamut, will die. The response of HaKadosh Baruch Hu comes in the following Perek, although by the narrative order there should not be a break between Perek 17 and Perek 18. The division of the chapter is not of Jewish origins. Vayomer Hashem el Aharon, Ata ubanecha ubeit avicha itach, you, your descendants, along with the entire extended family of your father, referring to Amram, Tisu et Avon HaMikdash, shall carry the responsibility for any violations of the Mikdash. And that Ve'ata ubanecha itach, you and your descendants, as Kohanim, Tisu et Avon Kahunatachem, shall be responsible for safeguarding the sins involving the Kahuna. From here we see that the prime responsibility for safeguarding the Mishkan against any intrusion from a Zar rests with the Kahuna, rests with Ata ubanecha. However, Obeit Avicha Itach, the Bnei Levi, shall be there to assist you in this task. And on this basis, the Rebbe maintains that the obligations of the Bnei Levi with respect to Shmirah are indirect, in that they basically rest with the Kohen. Their role is merely to assist the Kohen in his responsibilities. In contrast, the other two categories relate directly to the Mishkan, but do not come through the Kahuna. They belong with Bnei Levi in their own right.